25,000 people. Now you can see what has happened all the way from here, coming down, and all these people, all these cases have now come out of these people. There is another point to notice here and to record. If you look at this line here of the infections that came from this character right here, you'll see that case number 140 got 2 infections. This case here got all these people. This one, even more. But look at this. No infections here yet, no infections here yet, no infections here yet. Perhaps telling us that these people were keeping social distancing and refraining from contacting others, and therefore, this is where we have been saved. These ones have been our savior. Because you can imagine if each of these people was like this, and now we don't know what is going to happen to each of these red cases. It just emphasizes the importance of one person. Further, when you look at the restrictions and why we put the restrictions and is to justify these cases, look at this yellow line. This individual, KPA staff, left Mombasa on the 5th of April. They came and spent a night here in Nairobi. Okay? They left for Siaya the next morning, stayed overnight in Kisumu before proceeding to Siaya and being confirmed positive thereafter. And then starts the whole chain all over again. One person. Let's look at this case. The case in purple started here in Kilifi, moved all the way to Mombasa. There are 2 individuals here. Is a sister and a brother who left Mombasa at night, proceeded to Mandera the following day. They came through here. They proceeded on this path via Wajir all the way to Mandera. Now, 6 cases are linked to those 2 people who traveled through that route. 2 people only, and maybe one of them only was positive, but 6 cases thereafter. Now, as regards why we have again contained some of the areas in Mombasa, Old Town, and here in Isili, again, look at this. You can see the spread, particularly in Mvita, in Mombasa. Mvita in Old Town is the highest cluster that we have got. You can see that in terms of the denseness of an area and the number of cases in that area is here in Mvita. And I want to thank the Mombasa governor for doing everything that he can against a lot of opposition and a lot of opposition for trials. But I want to say that Governor Joho has really, really tried and put in a lot of measures and capacity for the people of Mombasa County. In Nairobi, you can see again Kamukunji, essentially around about the Isli area, 104. You see that is almost double everything everywhere else. Dagoretti, again, this is Kawangware. Kawangware, the cases that are appearing in Kawangware, these are slowed down a little bit now. Embakasi, the same thing, and so on and so forth, all the way down to Makandara. And this one we had seen. Just flip again. Continue. Again, this we looked at, but again here the issue of the deaths that we have experienced. 0 to 9, we had just one or very few. 10 to 19, no deaths. 20 to 29, no deaths. 30 to 39, a few. And you will find that these people were people with other underlying issues: diabetes, heart disease, HIV, and so on and so on and so forth. 50 to 59, you can see that gap, and then here comes where some of us belong, and the danger thereof. If you look at now, this is important to note again. If you look at the distribution of deaths across the country, you will see the one in Bomet, the one in Kiambu. Look at Mombasa and remember the numbers. Nairobi had almost 100 more cases than Mombasa, but look at the number of deaths. Mombasa has more deaths than Nairobi. This is why we have been explaining that people must not be kept at home. You must leave your house. If you die at home, what it means is that the rate of infection and the rate of mortality is going to be a lot higher than had the person been infected by somebody who is almost asymptomatic. So I think we should make it clear that the rise in deaths here in Mombasa is essentially people dying at home. And we want to urge that nobody, if a person is unwell, please take them to hospital. Because if they are unwell and you are the one who is looking after them, chances are that you can yourself die and pass on. So this is our testing capacity. As you can see, we have made, there was a time we were here, we were at 0. Less than 3 months ago, we were at 0. This is what we have done. In all that time, I want to really thank our people in the labs, our laboratory technicians, our lab heads, Kemri, our infectious lab here, and all these people who have developed the capacity to test in that time, and therefore increased our protective capacity and our protective ability. So we have got all these 20 labs, 10 in counties, public and private, which are fully operational, and we will continue to expand our lab capacity. In the next couple of weeks, in the next 2 weeks or so, we will probably be adding another maybe 5 testing areas. We want to start spreading it towards the north, towards central Kenya, have testing capacity there, because it is only we would really know what is happening around the country. Now, I'm glad that my brother CS is here, East Africa, because if you look at this, if you look at all these, the initial situation at our border crossing, this is what it was looking like, all the way down, and some areas in our borders, it still continues to look like this. Now, on our side, on the Kenyan side, we have largely cleared the backlog that has been there, and it is because the protocol is that you are supposed to be tested before you leave. And if you do that, it means that you are not waiting at the border to be tested. You have already left having been tested. So if everybody were to follow that protocol, there would be no reason why all these trucks would be there. Now, let's also be clear that the reason why on the Tanzanian side there is a backlog, it is not because of us wanting to keep them there. We want to clear them as quickly as possible. But it's just that on the Tanzanian